What's going on, guys? So we are going to talk a little bit about the Evo 2 Pro and the standard remote and Skyfire Aerial, who makes this really cool rig for your standard remote control. So it's made out of PETG plastic. I guess it's 3D molded. I'm not super familiar with that, but at the same time, I know it's really high quality. And I know some of these other pieces, like I think some of the matted pieces, he uses some kind of carbon fiber in with the PETG plastic. So super good. They don't actually get deformed or anything if you have it in high heat, for example. So it could withstand all kinds of temperatures with no problem. These are essentially the pieces. This is that piece right here. I actually took these little eyelets out because I just didn't want anything extra to kind of scratch or get in the way, but this is for a lanyard. So this is how it normally would look. I just happened to not leave well enough alone ever and took that out. These are the different colors. So we got the Atort orange, we got this gray. These are the actual bumper guards for the bottom. So if anyone uses a standard remote on an Evo 2 Pro controller, we all know we accidentally depress these dumb A and B buttons way too often. And this little simple piece, I have mine black on this controller, and you can see it just prevents you from hitting the buttons as easily. So everything is very well thought out. You can essentially put this all together in under 45 seconds. It's very simple. Right now, what's on it, you got to take it off with a Phillips, but the screw is now replaced with a little threaded piece, so you don't need any screwdriver to take it apart. But I'll show you this piece right here. Let the screwdriver stop making noise. But as you can see, this little piece will essentially connect the two handles and give it some rigidity. So it will give it a lot of strength and make this thing feel way more substantial. And when you're flying without it and you are doing stuff and these handles move, it's so distracting to fly, personally. And also on the bottom, you can see the bumper guard. I can go ahead and take this piece off, the main piece, by just unscrewing it. And we can go ahead and unscrew it. And you can see everything is very well thought out. It essentially all clicks together very nicely and seats together very nicely. And even over here with the standard remote, there's these 4 little notches on the back. And he was actually clever enough to go ahead and utilize those notches by adding more strength by having 4 little like recesses area, so they seat in perfectly when they line up. And all you do is simply screw this together. And that's that. So very easy. The bumper guard is now on there. Whoop, actually the bumper guard is off, so let me put that on. We'll go ahead and take this guy down. Just a really well thought out. When you use it, you realize everything, again, is just well thought out and seats together perfectly. So this little piece, as you can see, is gonna go right there. It snaps in perfectly. And then we go ahead and we push this controller right to where it needs to be, and it will seat where it needs to go. Okay, that should be good. And literally just screws together like that. The bumper guards are in place, protecting the buttons from accidentally depressing those guys. And then this little piece right here simply clicks right in the handle area. Boom. And now we just take the screw, which we won't even need anymore because he updated it again with this new little thumb screw. So you don't even need a screwdriver, as I mentioned earlier. Go ahead and screw this guy in though for now, because that's what I'm rocking. This is Skyfire Aerial, and now this thing is not flexing on me. It's a lot more rigid. You literally just simply take your iPhone. This is an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Go like that. You take your little cable for your controller, pop this guy down, put your USB-A in like so, 2 Lightning, and voila, that's it. So very easy. You can put the actual device down so it rests down very nicely. So if you want to set down your controller and everything like this, you're good to go. Power on the remote, for example. Boom. And I just keep this in a separate little bag, all assembled. So all I have to do is put my phone up here, plug in the cable, power on the remote, and I'm good to go. So literally within 30 seconds, I can connect to my drone. So we'll power this guy down. But I wanted to show you guys, as I said, Skyfire Aerial. This, I believe, is the deluxe kit. I think it's around 120-ish. I'm not even sure. I should know the exact price, but super worth it. It's very lightweight. It's very strong. It will withstand all kinds of temperatures, and it just feels good. It's not too heavy. So the Liftor, nothing against that, but I didn't personally enjoy the feel of that one, especially with the bigger tablet like a Triple Tech. This just feels perfect to me. So it feels very balanced. I guess balanced is the key word to this whole setup, and very well thought out, as I mentioned probably a few times now. But it's because it is. I mean, everything just seats together perfectly, and you can tell that a lot of thought went into this design. So, and again, to take it apart, just boom, boom. This actually angles, so you can go ahead and adjust accordingly. You screw it down and it locks into place really well. It's not going anywhere unless you really probably crank on it. And that's that. He uses a 3D molded PETG plastic with some carbon fiber. I know he actually puts some kind of stainless in the mix of some of this, so I'm not sure about all the technical side of things. I just know it works really well. And it does come in different colors. You could mix and match and kind of mess around and customize your controller. And the only thing, as I mentioned to him, and I think he may be doing something, I'm not sure, don't quote me, is if you want to keep, say you're flying and you want your antennas down this way, this is the correct way to be flying. If you're setting it down, you just need to kind of raise the antennas, which isn't that big of a deal, to place it down without doing any damage. So again, not a big deal. You just gotta be conscious of that and push these guys up. Or when I'm going ahead and traveling and pushing this thing into a bag, I simply put it in a bag like this and it's good to go. So I'm hoping that gives you a little introduction to Skyfire Aerial and a really good accessory that I think is mandatory for flying an Evo 2 Pro series drone. I believe he is working on something for the Nano and the Lite series to improve that controller. But just know, here, let me get this little dust out of here. Okay. So this will add a lot of strength and a good feel to flying with your controller. And I do think it all really helps out. When you have something that you feel comfortable flying with, it helps with your cinematic flying and footage and all that kind of good stuff. So having a good feel to the remote is super important. So that's it, guys. Aloha, Skyfire Aerial for the win. Check it out. I'll put a link in the description, and totally gets my vote of approval over Liftor personally. And that's my choice. So that's it, guys. Subscribe if you found that helpful. Hit the thumbs up button. That helps out the channel. And until next time, peace. Bye.